Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Frenzy. And this is going to be a frenzy because I have no idea how I'm going to do this or how much of the stuff I've gathered, I'm going to put on. But I'll show you what I have. First of all, this is the original. There's a cute photo, a piece of flair, so, kind of an embellishment cluster here, some die-cut greenery and feathers, and lots of mixed media that looks like it could be smeary at first, and then some of the details and lots of splatters, and there are several different colors of purple. This one's kind of monochromatic, and it's on a beautiful wood grain background. I looked at my wood grains. I didn't have anything quite that white or quite that ideal for a background. So I'm just going to do it on a white background. So that's my first difference. I am going to do the purple background, and I'm hoping that what ends up is that it reads as a mostly purple layout, but I'm actually going to include some other colors. My photo is this one, and it was in natural color, and it would have been cute for that, but I ran it through a filter that I knew I had in the Prisma program called Cocktail, which turns everything kind of purplish, and it added, unexpectedly to me, it added these yellow highlights in Katie's hair and in Reese's hair. So I really love how it turned out. And this gave me the idea to throw some yellow in, and there's a little bit of green in there. So, I did that, and there's some aqua kind of, the background sort of looks a little bit. So I threw in a lot of Vicki Boutin Color Study, die cuts from Vicki Boutin Color Study. I didn't weave this one completely, so let me do that. And some of those are also cut from scraps of cardstock that came from the Vicki Boutin Color Study class. So they're meant to match colors, even if they're not VBoo designed papers. And I even had the perfect color purple foam, so I cut these slightly, thicker leaves. These cut leaves and these kind of sprigs of wildflowers are Tim Holtz dies, 2 different die sets. The cut leaves are in one, I think they're called skeleton leaves. And I forget what this one's called, but I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description. I've got 3 purple Dottie About Flair flares. I've got 2 extra fine glitters, one in kind of a purplish dark blue, the other in a pure D dark purple. And I'm going to try something I've never done before, which is to maybe with my fingers rub a little glue through a stencil and then pour glitter on it. And the stencils I've picked are all the ones that have splats on them. I really like this conglomeration of splats right here on that one, which is one of my oldest and most loved stencils. There are 3, 4 splats here and this kind of area, and I see some things like that kind of reinforcing the horizontal line here, so I may use that there. There are some splats here and a little bit of kind of a combination of splats and writing, and there's an area right in here that might be appropriate. So I could do that. And then here's a Vicki Boutin stencil that has coffee rings and some kind of groupings of splats. So we'll see how I end up using those. And here are all my die cuts. Okay, I have a purple sequin mix that I kind of mixed up myself of a variety of sequins from old packages that I had that I just kind of grouped the purple ones together. And then I have a doily, which is in the original. And I'm going to back my photo with this extra thick foam because I'm going to be tucking so much into it and I want it to kind of stand up. I've already matted the photo with some white cardstock to kind of give it some dimension there, which is a little bit more dimension than if I just had a white border around it. Plus it printed crooked on the page, so I couldn't keep the white border because it didn't look good. I've got some handmade watercolors. These are by Little Rainbow Moon, and they came in a Mind the Scrap kit. They're the perfect color purple to mix with Wilted Violet and Dusty Concord Distress Oxides. These will give it kind of a powdery, matte, soft powdery matte finish. This will give it some shimmer and shine. And so I'm going to use that. Let me make sure I have a brush. I may not have a brush, so I may need to go, oh yes, I have this water brush that would be fine for that. Okay, and then I have this collection of, this is 1/2 of a package of chipboard embellishments from the Color Study line. I'm going to use this Love This kind of layered with another piece of Flair, and I may add a flower or this little heart. I like also these little guys here, and if it looks like it would be appropriate to add in some of the other colors that I have going on, because there's this aqua, which I have here, the lime green, which I have here, the yellow, which I have here, and there's the kind of pinkish color of this purple sprig, and there's the other purple. I mean, I could just use them all, or I could just use the arrow and have them all on the arrow. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I have some Dilutions crushed grape shimmer spray that I thought I could add, dots to. I have some Jen Hadfield gold glitter spray, and here's the glue I'm going to use. And I may actually use this green circle to reinforce in here. Their doily has a strong circle right there, and if it looks like mine could use that, I might do that. So I'm going to put this here where I can see it. I'm actually going to, there's my box of flares. I'm going to put it on top of there so it kind of keeps it up above things. And I have some black and white twine in case I decide to use that. So right now I'm going to move these things off, and I'm going to start building my mixed media background, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, I have this piece of acetate from it's the cover of the mixed media pad, and normally I would save this and either die cut from it or use it on a layout, but I have about, I don't know, 12 of these, so I can spare this one to be a utility tool. So first thing I'm going to do is rub a little of the oxides on here and spray with water and kind of kiss it, I guess is what we're calling it these days. And I'm going to try to do it along the horizontal here. Kind of not caring if it okay, and then I have some kind of sneaking out around, not caring if the colors blend, kind of hoping that they do. Get that there. Okay, so I'm good with that, and I'm going to use this again. So that's going to have the kind of soft color that isn't shimmery. And I roll across it with the paper towel, remove some of that, and that's layer number 1. I'm going to leave the oxide on the page, and I may regret that. But now I'm going to spray my watercolor and really try to get I'm kind of coloring that. What I'm doing here is just, I'm not familiar enough with it to know how much water I need to put on to get a good dose of the shimmer. So I'm kind of using this water brush, and I don't want to waste what's on my water brush. So I'm kind of coming in here and maybe adding little a little of it to the areas that are still wet. And look, I've spilled some, and you know, that's not a bad way to get splats. Actually, I'm going to wet it up and kind of do that, and those will be shimmery, but what I want is a larger drop here and there. Okay, let me put that back down, get my paper towel, and blot this up from the side. It removed that dot, which I didn't necessarily want. And this, of course, will be shimmery. I'm going to pour it on here and do, oh gosh, I've thrown away the trash. So I'm looking for a small piece of packaging, and I want it to be softer. I'm going to go with this and kind of pick it up there. And we don't know how much of this is going to be covered up. But we can assume a fair amount of it will be. And I'm hoping, let me actually rub this directly on the watercolor to get a big dose of that purple glittery part and kind of overlay it on what will be a soft, non-shimmery bit. Okay, now, I'm going to, I'm not going to dry those because I know that that will suck up all that watercolor. It behaves differently from the ink. The ink actually kind of stains the paper underneath. And so I'm going to continue building this background And then I'm going to put it aside to dry because I want that to dry naturally. And putting this on wet spots and dry spots, it kind of takes a different, you know, it looks different in the wet spots. It really kind of spreads out and moves. And I'm going to do some gold on this too. I'm going to dry up this guy. I'm going to put this in here because I may go back to it. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing stuff until something tells me to stop, or I get to the point where I figure I may have crossed the line. And so we'll see where that happens, where that takes us. Okay, and I'm gonna do some gold in here. And I may not be done splattering, because I may, once I get the photo cluster on, I may have some areas that I want to emphasize. And I'm going to now, let's just kind of see what happens as I blot it, because these gold spots actually look better when blotted. The shine really comes out. And if I leave them to dry on their own, they'll still be pretty, but they'll be, the color will show more than the sheen. And some of them I'll leave if they're around there. So I'm going to put this aside, and I haven't done the splats yet, but let's start building the photo cluster on that doily. So here's the doily. My observation is that the photo is kind of to the lower right of the doily. It looks like there's a cut file here, which I won't have on mine. But I think this is going to sit right here so that I have this much showing out here. Now here's where I may want to use this guy. Kind of, and I should have done it first. What part do I want to show? There. Okay, I'll just do that and kind of let it be there. And that makes kind of a nice platform for some of the other embellishments. Okay, I know I'm going to use the Love This kind of right there, and I'm just going to put it on the photo, and it's lifted up. And I'm going to do this little purple dog paw right in there. Let me get where did it go? I have a giant roll of foam tape. See, I ordered new foam tape, and I'll pull some off for this. And in the original, there's the happy place flare, there's a heart, and there's a dimensional flower. I'm going to maybe cluster another flare there. We'll see. I may actually use one of these as the flower. Maybe I'll cut that off and kind of have it there. But if so, I'll want to layer it on top of other layers that are going to go there. So I know that these feathers are going to come out from under there kind of like this. So let me get some glue on those, and I'm gluing everything down to the doily. And because I'm doing that, I actually have, I think, a couple layers of the doily. And I get these doilies from my grocery store, so they're fairly easy to come by, and I can even order them to be delivered. So that's cool. Let me get that down. And there's an element here. There's some, it looks like a braided element that's coming off each side. I didn't braid anything, but this this twine may have a similar look, especially if I cut a couple pieces and then tie a little knot at the end that makes it look like I've knotted off the white thread and the black thread that are kind of tied together. So I don't know if that's gonna work, and I may have cut too small a piece to do the knotting, but let's try it. And then I think I'm going to use my tweezers to undo the braiding there. So we'll see how that looks. It's just a tiny detail that I picked up. If I notice something, if something stands out to me when I look at a layout that I'm trying to lift, I like to incorporate it, and while I'm at it, kind of figure out a new technique that I may not have used before. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue these in there, and they may be longer than I want. So I'm gonna cut them. I'm gonna hide a little glue back here underneath the photo in the little, underneath the platform that I set with that really thick foam. And let me cover this guy up. I'm gonna get my popsicle stick that I use to kind of mash things down into the glue, and then I'll figure out a way to shape that a little bit better. What did I do? I picked it up and threw it. There it is. Okay. I do things like that. I see them move, and then I can't see where they landed. I don't know if that's an age thing or a crazy woman thing, but it happens nearly every layout, and that's whether I'm on camera or not. I would hate to estimate how many, looks like we might need something underneath that, but we'll see when we get it on the page. I'm gonna save that out, and now I'm gonna take some of the really contrasting, I like this dark blue, and I kind of want it to overlap the photo and go vertically like this. So I'm kind of wanting to put it down like that. So I know I want some glue on this guy, and I think I want some up here. We'll see how that gets placed. I can scooch it under there and there, and it holds it up, and so everything is going to be kind of below it. I want to take these really contrasting yellow ones and let them be kind of in the background. And I have two shades of yellow. One is the yellow cardstock that actually came with the class kit that we got. And I made some mistakes cutting that. So I went to my own stash and found this slightly oranger color. So I used that for the class project. Okay, those are the same die, but I cut the one shorter than the other so that I'd have a little bit of variation. I want to put the short one on top now. And my thought is that this bright yellow under there will make the purple that I'm going to put on top of it stand out. And that's my story. And I'm putting this one between the photo and the foam, so it's kind of up a little bit. And this other one will be even with the doily. I don't know that that's going to make any difference because this one is kind of drooping down. Oh, I wanted this one down here and this one up at the top. Let's see how that works. Just the opposite order of the other side. I want to place them a little bit differently. Okay, so that I've got, this is my largest skeleton leaf cut, and so I thought I would arch it kind of going up this way. Look how pretty it is on the other side. That's the B side of some cutouts that have all the beautiful colors in that amazing collection. So I'm going to put this in here, and those leaves kind of naturally curl. Here is, because there's more weight on this side or more room to kind of fill up, I'm using the larger cut there. And this is from the purple polka dot paper. Also going to put that on the foam level, which doesn't appear to be making much difference. I should have two of these. Ah, there it is. Okay, and I'm going to arch this one kind of down. And if I do that, I may not need this for down here, so I can kind of squeeze it in up there, which is beginning to look a little empty. Okay, I didn't weed this completely, but that's okay because I think the unweeded part is going to get hidden behind that. Okay, am I telling the truth? I don't want it to completely hide my little dog paw there. Okay, and then this one I'm going to put down at doily level. Okay, now I have these kind of bright. Let me put this in there. I'm gonna cut that off. Get this over here. I think this is going to be much better up high like this. Okay, and this one is up at photo and foam level. So I'm going to put, or the blue one is, I'm going to put the aqua one down at doily level. And I know it's not a big thing and I'm doing a lot to cover it up, but doesn't that circle just kind of give it a nice, I don't know, a nice foundation? I'm going to put this one again right over here and have it pointing down. I'm going to turn the other one upside down and have it pointing up. Or do I want to do it the opposite? I think I like it here, pointing down. So I'll turn it this way and put the glue on this side. Get that in and let me kind of move that, and I can arrange things better once we put this on the background. Okay, and I'm not going to cluster those flares all in the same place. I'm going to spread them about, but I don't know where yet because I still have sequins and other goodies. Okay, so it's all Color Study colors, and most of it's made from Color Study papers. So let's bring this guy back in, and that has dried, except these guys haven't dried, but they've dried enough so that if let me kind of carefully move this up here. If I do the rollover, it did exactly what I wanted it to do, which is to leave the little border around the outside. Okay, now I'm gonna just kind of see where this fits and see where I may want to put some other things. Okay, I know that right in here I could use something, some splats maybe, and maybe something to kind of fill this out to get it to the edge of the page, and something over here. Not going to do much over here because the doily's there. So here, here, and right here. All right, let's put that aside. And I've still got these guys. Now, here's my stupid idea. I have no idea whether this is smart or not. I know that I need something over here, and there was something that kind of looked like that there. And so I think what I want to do there is put something through with my fingers. Let's see if that's right. And I'm going to take this shimmery ink, spray it on here, and then kind of do that in a the writing didn't come out, so that was a bust. However, let me I'm going to dry that up really well. What will come through is if I brush that on, one of the dark purple oxides. And I'm going to go with Dusty Concord because the Wilted Violet is is kind of in that same family. I'm going to keep that color because I still want to use it. Let me actually add it by doing, this may be what I do over there. Ooh, it kind of comes out as splats. That's kind of cool. Let me do that, and that can dry on maybe doing this over here. So let me put that same stencil right here. I'll put it up the white part. I'll try to get this fully loaded. Really rub that in. Okay. It doesn't look like I thought it would, but it's fine by me. I'm going to kind of go do the same sort of pattern, but upside down and off a different direction over here. And that's good. Now I'm also going to do, I'm going to use this for some splats. I kind of like the look of the drips in the original, and this isn't drips, this is her hair, the girl in the stencil. But I like those lines. I use her hair for lines, vertical and horizontal, all the time. And I'm gonna put some more lines, maybe right, I'll use this part of the hair. Okay. Hopefully that'll kind of fade a little bit into the background. So I'm done with that stencil. I like this bit of this stencil, but I kind of want it to look like this. And I'm gonna do my crazy idea. Let's see, let me cover up my inks. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue, not on there, not on my craft mat, but on this guy, my kind of other sort of craft mat. I'm gonna have my glitters close by. I'm gonna do this and kind of fill that area with glue, including the splat right there, and then see if I can get this glitter to stick. And I'm going to add some blue at the same time. Oops, I haven't taken the paper out of this one, so let me do that. Okay, we'll see if we got a glittery splat there. And if we didn't, some glitter will stick somewhere. Let me, I want to tap this glitter off on a scrap piece of paper so that it doesn't end up in landfill or water. And look at that, an amazing glittery splat. Okay, so now let's go do more. It works. Okay, put that aside. Let's find another splat. I like, we needed something kind of over in here, and I've got these two splats right there. Let me do them this way. And I'm going to take my glue again, and I'm going to use maybe the same amount because that seemed to work. It wasn't too much and it wasn't too little. And there's a little one over here that's kind of cute as well. Okay, so now we'll go, and that dark blue is going to look really pretty with the purple. I'm going to tap that down, actually. How am I going to tap it down? I'll use this little glassine bag and kind of do that just to increase the contact with the glue. Okay, now let's sprinkle this kind of that way. Okay, I like, those two came out okay, but by the time I got the glue over here, there wasn't enough for that to stick very well. It's kind of the same thing that happened there. But I don't mind that, and there's gonna be enough on the page that that's not gonna be a problem. So the next thing I'm gonna do is another splat, or grouping of splats over here to kind of get rid of the dot, dot, dot sort of look that's there. So I'm going to kind of do it this way, and I'm going to get some glue. And this stencil's a little bit different material from the TCW, and I'm losing my lid here. So it may not go through as well with my finger. They're a little bit and if it doesn't work, we can go back with a bigger splat, kind of like one of these. Okay, and I'm going to use the same glitter that I've been collecting on this sheet, and I'm going to kind of spread it about. Okay, so there's our mixed media background. Now let's cover it up. Okay, I'm going to wipe off the glue. I'm going to make sure this is carefully placed over here. And let's get this guy in place. And what I'm going to do is maybe put a few strips of this foam tape behind the doily just to anchor it. And then, you know, I may not have wanted to do that because it may show. It does show right here. These two strips don't show. So that's good enough. I'll put this here where I know it won't show. And this will hold it on, and it'll give it some, even the things that are on the doily level that I kind of glued in to the doily will have some dimension and some lift. And all of this kind of gives me a little bit better pickings for finding spots for my flare. Okay, here we go. Is that how we want that? I'm going to move it over here. Okay, and I'm going to use this, which is clean, to kind of put that down. Okay, now it looks like I might have a good spot for a flare right here and then another one right up there. So I will do that. I don't know about you, but I like it. And I think I would have liked it, even if it had been monochromatic. But I'm happy with the different colors. That one is sticking off the page a little. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut it right there. And I'm gonna re-glue it shorter. But I left the bottom part that's glued because it'll just kind of add another layer of leaves there. Get that out from under it, and I'll just kind of don't want to put it right up next to it because then it is just as long as it was. Okay, I want this more up here and this over top of it. That's the thing about gluing things back in out of order, is the things that were on top now don't want to be on top. Okay, there. Now, this one seems like it might look nice right there. So that's where it's gonna go. And we're almost finished. I've got some sequins I'd like to add. Let me put this that way. And there are these things. I like the one that says My Happy Place because that's the title of the original. Now, I don't have to do that. Let me kind of glue those into a more I don't have to do that, but it kind of, and the journaling could say that in Katie's arms is definitely Reese's happy place. So it's not my happy place, the scrapbooker, or Katie's happy place, the person holding Reese, but it's Reese's happy place that we're talking about. It has that orange strip above it. Let's see where I could put that. I could put it right here. Maybe right here, layered under that. So I don't want to lose that. So how about that? Make sure it's straight. And it's not. Scooch it down a little bit and try to make sure I get it parallel with the photo. Okay, I like that. And I'm going to add this chipboard heart. See that when I photograph it straight down and when I look at it in the albums, that should show. Actually, I'm going to lift it up. I don't like it because, and the reason for that is that foam is so thick that it raises the photo up, and depending on what angle you're looking at it, it can obscure this whole thing. So I'm going to raise it up almost so that when I look straight down at it, it looks like it's not really under the photo, but it is. Okay, I like how that looks better. Let's see. It looks crooked though. Too much faffing about with just this one element, right? And it's my layers of doily are coming apart with that. So with all of that, I'm going to add this little gold heart right here with some glue. I don't, maybe I could use one of these here. Maybe even a couple of them. I like the best, and it adds another kind of saturated color here to kind of offset or explain or the dark glitter. I might have been happier with a lighter color of glitter. The glitter seems to contrast, but I think it's going to be okay. And I'm picking all the ones that have the banner end instead of the arrow end on the other side. Okay, and I don't have a flower in there. There's one that I could put right here, but I'd want to layer it under that twine. And I'm not going to be able to do that very easily. Let me get the twine out from under the sticky part. Okay, that's my flower. I said the other day that I don't know how to scrapbook without flowers. Okay, now sequins, and I think again to sort of explain or to help those dark colored splats fit in, I'm going to use darker colored purple sequins. And I'm just going to kind of spread them around, not in groups, but kind of to look like they just sprayed out there when I was spraying all that ink. This one is missing a bit, and that's perfectly okay with me. I don't reject sequins just because they're broken. It makes them look more extemporaneous, I guess. Let me kind of put one right there. I want it to look like it's actually part of that grouping of those dark splats. Some of these are holographic, some are just foil. Put one on the doily. If I can see where it was. There we go. And I'm going to put one up there. Okay, that's sequin is not straight. I love that dot, and so I want to do something to bring attention to it. So I'll put a sequin there. And I'm going to do something right in there. And of course I created that sequin mix, and then I separate them out and use them separately. I don't use them mixed. And I do that with mixes I buy too. Was reading something the other day, or maybe I was watching, might have been Christina who said that she does that. She gets mixes and she loves the mix, but when she uses them on layout, she tends to separate them. Now here, I'm gonna do one right in here, and it's gonna be a kind of clear one. And I'll see by that if I want to add a couple more of the clear ones. The clear ones are kind of, they've kind of got a goldish cast to them, which kind of goes with the gold ink that I splattered around. There we go. I'm going to use one more of those that I see that I have in here, and I'll put it right here. Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. I know this was a long one, but I really wanted to do this one justice. I loved it, and of course not just because it's purple, and so I'm happy. This is purple and a lot of my other favorite colors. So the hot yellow and the green and aqua really, I think, make the purples look purpler. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So thank you for watching. Let me bring this up close, and I may actually do some close-ups on Instagram for this one. Someone asked the other day why I didn't do that, and it's just not how I've done it, but it doesn't mean I can't change. So there, I love it. Thank you. See you next week for more Mixed Media Frenzy. Bye.